Hey YouTube, this is Zach with AchillesFinancial, and today I want to talk about Galat Satellite Networks Ltd. with the ticker symbol GILT or GILT. So the reason that I want to talk about this company is, in particular, one of the ways that I've been eagerly tracking small cap investments is I have been following the ARK Innovation ETFs, and what I've been doing is I've been going in, diving into those individual funds, and then digging around and seeing what investments and moves ARK is making. So ARK is a huge investment fund that we've talked about on the channel a number of times. And I actually want to go and show you a new fund that they started, because this is kind of where I got this pick from. So this fund that I have up here is the Israel Innovative Technology ETF, also known as IZRL, that you can see here. So this is one of ARK's smaller funds, and I want to keep that in perspective because when we look at some of the top 10 holdings, if I even just click on this and it scrolls down, you can see as a percentage of the total fund, and you can see some of these millions of dollars and you think, wow, that's a lot of money. But comparatively, this fund compared to some of the other funds is not really a large company, or rather a large fund. So it's important to recognize that. One of the things that I'm going to be looking at as we kind of walk through this is there's a few things that I really like about this. One is, as I am growing in my investing style and looking at different potential investments, I've got a lot of the long-term things I'm going to hold forever, but I also just don't want to be investing in small cap stocks just to throw money at them. I'm following a strategy where I am buying a number of shares, and instead of just waiting for them to pop off one day, I like the idea of selling out of the money calls where I can continuously get some passive income while also recognizing potential growth over time. So when I'm looking at these companies, I like to take from the best, and ARK Invest has been doing an excellent job this year, particularly with their innovation ETFs. So when I found this Israel Innovative Technology ETF, the first thing that I did is I went down and actually saw, they have an attractive price tag that you can see right here of $27.43. I do like that as well. So even if you just want to invest in the overall fund, I do think that there is capability to do so. And again, their performance kind of speaks for itself. Although granted, a lot of the value has come from this calendar year. As you can see, they've kind of traded sideways historically. So what does this fund invest in that drew me to it? So again, I'm looking to buy 100 shares, and there's a lot of companies in here, including Fiverr, which you're probably familiar with. But the one that I really wanted to dive into and look at today is this Galat Satellite Networks Ltd. So this is a company that primarily works in the commercial satellite space, has some exposure to 5G, but that's not really its bread and butter. But that is a company that is going to be capable of me having a very low cost to entry to get 100, 200 shares. And they do offer options, although this stock is not very volatile. But let me take you to the website and show you what exactly they're looking at, or what they're kind of building into the stock. So this is the website for Galat Telecom, and you can see that information here. There's a lot of different info here. One of the things that I want to talk about from the solutions perspective that they have available is they did just close a contract with the United States Defense Department. And that's one of the ways that I anticipate that they're going to be able to grow their revenue stream, is primarily through military. However, as you can see through here, what we're looking at is they've got a number of things that we can look at, talk about. They've got a lot of info about them. But one of the things that I'm looking at is how are they going to make money? And that's largely going to be driven by 5G and military contracts. So super interesting company. They've got a lot going on with them. And again, they are continuing to grow. So let's take a look at the actual underlying stock now. Now that we're looking at the actual stock, you can see that there's been quite a run up just over the past 5 days. This is largely due to that contract. Over the past month, you can see most of that is actually concentrated here. So this is a stock that, again, is going to be a solid pick for a long-term spec play, a long-term appreciation. Their options are not super, they're not going to give you a lot of money. You can see that right here with the December 18th. So the 750 is the nearest out of the money. No one's really asking for this. And I think that this would be a little bit dangerous, but I've considered even the March play right here, where you can play the 750 call if this does shoot up one day for anywhere between $20 to $25. It looks like the last contract that went through was $20. So you actually do have the capability of buying that contract. One of the other things you could do is you could sell a cash secured put. If you had $750, you would have to wait until March, but if the stock price is still under $750, you could potentially buy that. But even on the December, if you said, hey, I'm interested in the stock, you can actually still get paid if you're a little bullish on it. So that's some of the capabilities or the things that you can look at when we're having this conversation. Is there are other ways to enter the stock, but there's not a lot of appreciation capability from the covered call option that I like to follow. But they do offer a dividend. This is normally just a one-time dividend. It is pretty attractive at the current price, although again, it's only once a year at this point in time, and I don't know if that is going to be holding true going next year. So their fundamentals aren't exactly that great. Again, this is a spec play. This is an excitement play. You can see the stock over time. I'm banking on the fact that even if it gets back to last year or this year's high of the $10 range, you're looking at a 80% increase in stock value from where we're at today. And I really like that potential. But some of the niceties is that we are seeing a growth in revenue. You can see from the financials that the cash position is going up, even if the income statement isn't necessarily growing at the same level that we would like it to. And that leads us into, well, are they valued nicely? And you can see that there's a lot of information that they don't have available. And that is just because the stock has not been up to date in terms of their earnings filings. They don't always announce earnings in the United States because it is a foreign-owned company. So that's why if you look on like TD Ameritrade, you're not going to see the earnings information in here, but we still have access to all of the valuation and the numbers and such. But you can see that from a price to book ratio, price to sales ratio, they are on the cheaper side. I think a lot of that is due to the fact that some of these other numbers that you'll see here, they're not nearly as profitable. However, they do have the capability to grow really, really quickly, even if they're able of getting like a single contract from the US government cause the stock to shoot up $2. So that's some of the advantage when we're kind of looking at and having these conversations. So all of this bakes into, I don't think that you need to be building in a huge percentage of your portfolio in a stock like this. However, I do recognize that ARK Invest believes in this company, and I do as well, which is some of the reasons why I'm going to be investing in Galat. I do plan on purchasing 100 shares as long as it stays under like the 630 price tag. But we'll be looking at that, and I'll be continuing to track ARK Invest going forward. So let me know your thoughts on the stock. If you're a shareholder, if this is the first time you've heard about it, please drop those in the comments below, and looking forward to seeing how this grows. Thanks everyone, and look forward to talking to you soon.